Seal is nearly healed. We've got one more part to seal or heal or whatever you want to call it. We've still got a little bit we haven't discovered yet, but by going to research site Gamma now, we should be able to get to this mystery bit that's next to the cave bleed, which might be our concluding part of the DLC. Who knows? There might be more secret stuff. Oops. To find. Sorry, I do that every time. I always go to close the map. But yeah, this DLC's been amazing. Oh, look at the light! Look at it. Just let me quickly check I've got the right audio. Yes. My computer always switches to the Windows Sonic surround sound audio, which is terrible, instead of it defaulting to the Dolby Atmos, which sounds orders of magnitude better. Okay, that hurt. Things tend to stay pretty permanent, so yeah, the health is here. Which is definitely a cool thing about the game, right? The permanence of objects and stuff in the world. Ominous music. Enough! Give up. You can't win, Hiss. I can throw forklifts now. God damn. That was a proper jump scare then. Here we are. Head into the deep cavern. Anything else secretive here? Don't think so. Let's get in there. Recording check, we're okay.
Hiss got in. Boom. The nail. Pile of smoking rubble.
Marshall blew up the nail? What the hell was she thinking?
What?
I snuck into the Foundation through a back door I know. Had to get ahead of the Hiss. Just a matter of bypassing the ritual protections. Luckily, the board's as distracted as the rest of the Bureau. I had to put on a brave face up there, but the situation is the worst I've ever seen. We're getting back on our feet, but we've already lost so much. Trench is dead. Darling is somewhere. I'm the only one left.
So what?
But I still have a job to do. Keep the hiss back. There's not enough HRAs to spare, so I'll have to make do with what I've got.
Oh, we're gonna have to fight her, aren't we?
I don't even know what will happen if the hiss take the nail.
What if they take you?
Trench made it sound like it'd be the end of the world. He was never one to exaggerate. Well, orders are orders, even if they come from a dead man.
Maybe she's been taken by the hiss and then that's why the nail got damaged.
The hiss got in. The Foundation is overrun. I was out of time and out of options. I took all the C4 I could get my hands on and strapped it to the nail. Boom. A desperate move. But it's better off in pieces than in enemy hands.
Fair enough, I understand.
Trench wouldn't be thrilled. He always said how vital the nail was. How it was the Bureau's duty to protect it. Bullshit. Those years spent in the director's chair warped his priorities. In the end, he valued order over people, the advice of invisible voices over that of old friends. He lost sight of who he was. The board made sure of that. But I did my duty. The hiss can't corrupt a pile of smoking rubble.
So we're gonna have to...
My last act as head of operations. I'm done. At least I could take those bastards down with me.
I imagine if we repair the nail, we're gonna have to fight back the hiss, who will want to take it in its repaired form. Hello there, combat room. Great. Can you actually take these things down? I'm fairly certain you can't. You work for me now, Timmy. No snipers! I don't think it's possible to kill those things. Oh! Clever girl. Right, we've opened a shortcut. Adventure accepted, dear Mr. Talbot. My heartiest congratulations for achieving something that few others have. Consider my curiosity thoroughly yours. For who wouldn't be intrigued when the United States government claims to need an expert spelunker to explore the depths of a cave the likes of which no man has ever seen? The subterranean channel beneath the very heart of New York is fascinating in and of itself. I've explored every cave system from Kentucky to Kathmandu. But a formation below America's own Big Apple is a welcome surprise. You are certainly building grand expectations, don't let me down. I've decided to come and see this mystifying cave myself. My assistant will be in touch with the details of my arrival. As requested, I will avoid making an announcement to the press, but I cannot guarantee that my travels will slip past their notice. The world is always waiting for the word of Robert Ricardo's next grand endeavour. Such is the burden of a globe-trotting man of adventure, such as myself. Such is the way of adventure. Keep exploring, Bob Ricardo.
41 days since entry day, the name of our historic arrival to the oldest house. Morale is long dead, and its corpse is starting to smell. My research staff complain of a presence watching them. Many have suffered nervous fits. Some were evacuated. In cheerier news, I've made some new friends. I met them while exploring the deeper caves. They're hard to describe, but imagine avant-garde sculptures of humans. I call them the id.
Yes, we've heard him mention them.
They aren't hostile. In fact, they're polite and quiet, which is more than I can say for my colleagues. Most id are shy, but a few are quite curious. While I sat taking notes, one came to look at my sketches. I offered him my pencil, but that spooked it. What are the id? Residents? Prisoners? They remind me of the golems from Kabbalistic texts, or a type of homunculi. I know I shouldn't, but I gave them names. There's Hercules, Adam, Lilith, Copernicus. Mabel is the bravest. They're a funny bunch.
So, probably would have been better to pick the gun first, because we could have come here and maybe experienced the discovery of the id in a more logical order, but fascinating. So that's like the black, eyeless, like mannequins almost. That we see scattered around the place. Who they fight the hiss, right? They're not one with the hiss. This thing is still here. Does that kill it? Interesting. Shit, the bed. This is one of those key things, right? I guess we could have got over here from that bridge. Which bridge were we on previously? Yeah. You can't get through this bit anyway. Or maybe I came over here when this was locked. Yeah. Oh no. Ranger!
I need a ranger sent to this location stat.
We're in this together!
Yes. Just know that those things are unkillable. I was trying to raise the floor. Lousy snipers. Good job, Johnny. Wait a minute, is Johnny dead? Where'd Johnny go? Yeah, he must have died. Wow. They did a number on him. Right, off we go. That was a bit of a haphazard way of getting in. Open mods again. Okay, enough of that. Here we go. This might lead somewhere else again, though.
All right, this is the last one.
The Mines of Moria.
I can't believe Marshall's brilliant plan was to blow up the nail. And she thought I wasn't ready.
God, that's bright. Okay. Oh, right, okay. This one is completely encased. What? We got it. Good job, Jess.
There. Easy as pie. Fuck! But that's the last one. I fixed it, didn't I?
Maybe not. Nail, leave, end. That's the former. What exactly do you want me to do? Run, Jess! So the former is helping us again. that might have been an error.
Oh, thank God.
I don't think God's got anything to do with it at this point, Jess.
What the hell was all that? Things should be better now, not worse. Emily will know. I hope.
Imagine the Hiss are going to launch an onslaught on the crossroads part. Apologies, how embarrassing. Astral Fellows, Shades are acting hostile, very rude. We cannot direct behaviour. In external, not astral regions. Promise, fingers crossed. They're so bizarre. Yep, we're finally here. Let's get back to Dear Emily. No, they're all okay. But it has reformed completely. You alright, mate? Okay, let's just take the levitation duration. Let's just go hell. As boring as that is. Still can't afford these. Uh-oh.
What did you do? What is causing these tremors?
I thought you could tell me.
I completed the 4 rituals just like the board told me to. The astral bleed should have stopped. Look, it has stopped. The nail is repaired. But we have a new problem. My analysis of the nail indicates that it is literally a piece of the astral plane. Or possibly a vessel containing the astral plane. Or both. Either way, right now both dimensions are vibrating at completely incompatible frequencies. The spatial friction they are generating is incalculable. It's going to destroy both planes.
I messed this all up. Maybe Marshall was right to destroy the nail. I should have left it in pieces.
No, then the astral plane would still be leaking in. Sometimes there's no right answer, Jesse. We need more information.
No. I need to fix this, now. I'll figure something out.
No, we should really make a plan. The tremors are originating from directly below us, but we don't know what...
Perfect. I'll head down and take care of whatever's going on. Just do what you can from here.
Jesse, you can't just...
I have to, Emily. I'm the director. This is on me.
That's what we need the lower path for. And this sort of looks like Artie's area, right? That must be what this whole path is. Do I just float down there or am I gonna die? I can vaguely see some shapes. I think I'm about to die. Oh god. Had to try. Yeah, that's not where we go. Maybe we just walk up to the nail. It's literally right in front of it, isn't it?
I hope I know what I'm doing.
Well, if you hope, then you obviously don't know what you're doing, right? You hope that you're capable.
That was just the top of the nail? How much deeper does the foundation go?
So this was open to the original people. What I've really enjoyed about learning about the history from Ash's son and about the id and stuff is like the fear of this as something truly alien, as something that isn't necessarily in our best interest. That's something that's just utterly mysterious. Whereas, because the FBC is such an official corporation, like the oldest house has felt like an ally almost the whole time. Whereas the discovery of this place, it felt very nefarious and unsettling the whole time.
Entry day plus 118. I have changed, though it's hard to know how or why. I no longer need tools to detect the house's veins, to hear it breathe. I can feel its blood churning beneath my bare feet. I have added my own illustrations to the walls, trying to solve some mystery that the oldest house whispers to me. I have to avoid the id as I do so. They haunt me. I don't blame them. They're just following the pillar's orders. Even poor Adam doesn't seem to recognize me anymore. I've spent a long time contemplating the etchings of the tree and its roots. Did you know this city used to be a forest? I wonder if our oldest house wore a different face back then.
Yep.
Or if it was always here. A 21st century office building since time immemorial.
Nope.
Can a place know the future? Can it change its skin? Can it wander? I always thought the esoteric world was my father's, not mine. But here, in this sacred place, I finally understand his devotion and his awe.
Oh man, Ash Jr.'s journey has just been fascinating, really has. The audio logs have been great. Scared the hell out of me. I don't need this.
Growing like crazy here. It's almost like they're trying to stop me.
Astral spike. HRA was damaged. The board said it.
When Marshall blew up the nail, the board attacked her. I don't fucking like it.
I tried to get out after the detonation, but the astral spike came out of nowhere. I escaped, but my HRA was damaged. I'd bet a year's salary the board said it. We never did see eye to eye. They have too much control over Trench, the Bureau, the House. They make themselves part of every important process. Nothing a little C4 can't fix. 2 birds, 1 bomb. Christ, what a mess. But I stopped the hiss. I did it. If Faden did her part, then the Bureau is safe. Until the next thing. Jessie has good reason to hate the Bureau. But that could be what we need right now. She won't follow the same path.
Yeah, interesting.
Won't fall into the same traps. She'll lead her way. So, Director Faden, here's my last lesson. You can't save everybody.
A big red room.
Nobody else hears the house. Their ears are too full of lies. We were shown the way inside so we could help. But all we've done is fall victim to the same parasite. I should have seen the web earlier. The strands between Northmore, the pillar, the gun, the id. What hope did we have? Thrown into this conflict beyond our comprehension. I've decided to rejoin the Bureau in the upper levels to end my long absence spent in the Foundation. Northmore will be angry at me for disobeying him. That's just his way. But I don't care. I need to remain in the oldest house to help however I can. I doubt I can steer the Bureau back on the right course, but I have to try. How did I go so long without a purpose? Without devotion? I can hardly remember how it felt. I realize how grateful I am to Father for setting me on this path. I wish I could tell him that.
Well, is he maybe saying that the board is the enemy then? That they've fallen victim to the same parasite?
I need a ranger
Oh,
sent
right.
to this location stat.
I'll take it. Come on, John boy. I don't know how you got down here. Bit immersion breaking. I didn't realise that's what it was. It was a bit damaged. Is that Marshall? Don't start shooting, Johnny. Looks like Marshall.
Marshall? You're alive.
Not exactly.
Soon you will no longer recognize us, or yourself, or him, or her, or them. Family is dead. The walls are broken, but yellow and red in the eye.
God damn it.
Inverted is made right. Leave your
Fuckers,
innocence.
take everything. I am not letting you take this.
You've always been the new you. You want this to be true.
Oh, Johnny!
She can destroy the crystals too.
I'm cheating a little bit with Johnny here, but... jump? Did I just kill Johnny? You work for me now, Tim. Oops. I need some help. The Hiss can't fabricate grenades. Oh, damn it. Oh! That's a lot of grenades. Oh, I got shot from behind. I think I killed Johnny as well. Of course. I'm summoning Johnny, I don't... Oops. Matt?
Director Faden here. Send backup to my location.
Yeah, good shot. Ah! Oh, Johnny, I'm sorry.
The
Wow.
nail was corrupted. That explains why the board wasn't answering what's causing the quakes. Marshall came down here to stop this. I should have been with her. I could have saved her, but I can still save everyone else.
Oh, okay. I guess there's no lore or anything in there. Sorry, Marshall. We are cleansed, liberated. Hallelujah. The foundation is stable, beaten, A-OK. We hope you will improve your attitude and loyalty.
Fuck you too.
Oh, I'll be sure to.
How bizarre.
Let's play it smart. They don't need to know I'm onto them. Not yet, anyway.
Interesting. That gives a bit of setup for the next game. Take down the board. I'm just trying to think if we actually heard anything from Ash during the main game, right? Whether they'd maybe set this DLC up through that. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I think we've heard Director Ash before. Obviously not we've not necessarily heard about his son. Wow, look at that. Is that the former?
The nail is secure. The hiss can't touch it. I can't undo the astral bleeding in the foundation, but at least it stopped.
Along with the seismic activity. You did it, Jesse. Did you ever find Marshall?
I did. She's gone. She died thinking she'd save the Bureau. Not a bad way to go. I wasn't ready for this crisis. I didn't even see it coming. But I promise I'll be ready for the next one. I mean, what good is a director who can't hold her bureau together?
Wow, great DLC. Great DLC. Okay. I feel like because I've messed the chronology up of Ash's journey there, I feel like he might have died in one of the previous ones and my mind is just going blank. I can always look back.
I thought I know how to handle things, now that I'm the director. Clearly, it's not that simple. I need to choose a direction for the Bureau.
Interesting.
It should be one that serves our goals, not the board's. Whatever those are. I need to lead my way.
Amazing. We've explored pretty much everywhere down here. Let's do a final ability upgrade. Let's go talk to Ems.
Now that this nail business is handled, I should probably be getting back to executive. But maybe I'll keep poking around. Just for a little bit.
Sure. The nail field?
Has the nail been doing anything since we restored it?
Define anything. Anything unusual? Define unusual.
Emily.
Sorry, but the answer is a whopping yes. Now that it's whole, the nail is emitting a constant field of, well, think of it like low-level radiation. It seems to suppress any biological matter it encounters. This explains why nothing grows here and why the Bureau had to abandon the area. Prolonged exposure would certainly begin affecting neural processes.
Wait. Was the field created when I cleansed the nail?
I considered that, but the nail's readings are quite different from the ones I recorded at the cleanse control points. I think the nail's field is purely of its own making. In fact, I think it would passively prevent any Hiss corruption, like the HRAs do. Which makes me wonder what actually occurred when you cleansed the nail.
I've been wondering about that myself. Did the board let the Hiss corrupt the nail? Did they want me to cleanse it? If so, why?
Interesting. Were you working here when Northmore was here?
What do you know about Director Northmore?
Well, he was Director Trench's predecessor, and Northmore's famous for being the first board-appointed director. See, before he found the oldest house, directors were picked by committees of old men in suits, drinking cognac and smoking cigars or whatever. You know, standard, uninteresting methods.
I think the word you're looking for is bureaucratic.
Or antiquated. Regardless, Northmore was eventually forced to... Well, we don't need to go into that.
Yeah, we do.
Strangely, the only two board-appointed directors left the position under...
Death.
Unusual circumstances. If the board appoints a director, then how do they retire them? I doubt they go out and buy you a gold watch. Sorry, Jesse, I didn't mean to imply that...
Don't worry. If anyone's getting shown the door, it's them.
It is the one weird thing about Emily, how clinical she is, I guess. Compared to, like, Ash. I know Ash was more of a pioneer in discovering this place rather than analysing it in a more clinical way like Emily does, but she definitely has the vibe of Darling, who seems a bit too enamored with some of the stuff going on, and you know, just I feel like she should be more fearful, or everyone should be more fearful, like Ash was, of the whole place. The former.
What do you know about an entity named Former?
I can't say I've heard of it.
Oh.
You got any details for me?
Giant snake.
Well, imagine a one-eyed bug thing. I think it was a part of the board, but then something happened and now it's separate.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I always wondered if the board was some sort of entity or a group or conglomerate of linked consciousnesses, but this supports the group theory. Although it could have undergone some sort of corporeal exile. Too many unknowns to form a working hypothesis yet, but I can prioritize this matter in future astral dives if you think it's important.
Fortune favors the prepared. Do it. I'm gonna keep looking around.
I wish I could go with you, but I still need 30 hours of training before I can do field work.
We'll work on that.
Right, so I just want to have a quick re-examine of we've listened to all of these, obviously. No, number 8 was the last one. Maybe we should listen to all of these in order. Just to kind of go through Ash's story one last time. Yeah, I'm down for that.
My life's been a strange one.
Yeah.
Certainly stranger than I'd like.
I've loved Ash.
This place, it's something else. The floors crawl, the walls slither, it's a shifting pit. On the street, it's just another drab building standing there for anyone to see. But no one does. How do we miss it? Northmore. Acting director Northmore now is on a train from Washington. He'll expect answers, which is why I'm making these tapes. They're evidence that I'm at least trying to understand. Father searched his entire life for something like this, and we find it 1 week after he's buried. He always hated irony. Of course, Father, the great director, Ash, would have been the first man in. And look at me, his bookworm son, the supposed head of research who can't stop his legs from shaking long enough to step over the threshold.
That set him up as, you know, living in his father's shadow, reluctant to be here because of that connection.
It's been 5 days since we first entered the building. Traversing the interior is dangerous due to the shifting, but we did manage to find a lower cavern that seems structurally predictable, which is a scientific way of saying its walls won't crush us in our sleep. Northmore even made a discovery. A pistol, placed on a stone pedestal in front of that strange ebony pillar. Seems like something out of a storybook, except the heroes usually find swords, not handguns. But it is the perfect lure for someone like him. Hours after finding this weapon, Northmore cornered me to spout some nonsense about how the board had made him the director. He ran it about the title being meaningless before now, calling Father and all other previous directors shams, frauds, and worse. I think this place is worse for Northmore than it is for me. Strangest thing? There was no pedestal in front of that pillar a day ago. This building has swallowed a dozen of my men, and now it's handing out presents? Is it playing some sort of game? If it is, we're most certainly losing. Oh, we don't even know the rules.
Yeah, so that sets up more about the oldest house and the board being adaptable to whatever they're encountering, right? So the house being like a New York building, whereas in the past it used to be a tree in a forest. He mentioned about pulling swords out of stones, whereas now it's a gun, so it morphs to the modern technology. It anointed Northmore director, even though he was already called director, so it's adapting to the bureaucratic terminology as well. Which is interesting, right? So just sets it all up as this thing that can adapt to whatever it encounters.
28 days now spent inside what we're calling the oldest house. Northmore insists on the name. I'm too tired to ask why. I'm not sleeping well. Per orders, me and my research team have established a permanent examination lab in the Foundation. I basically live down here now, like the obedient head of research Father raised me to be. I spend my days investigating that odd pillar where Northmore found the handgun. The work was half-hearted at first, I admit. But then I discovered numerous non-Aristotelian energy channels converging at its base. Ley lines, dragon roads, Hyligalinian, call them what you want. But this pillar is the crossroads. I started building something. Equal parts talisman and technology. An array that can impose order on the ley junctions. That's the idea, at least. We'll see when I'm done. I prefer to work away from the pillar. I'm not the only one who feels like that thing has eyes.
So immediately feels like the pillar and the board by extension are a threat. Observing.
41 days since entry day, the name of our historic arrival to the oldest house. Morale is long dead, and its corpse is starting to smell. My research staff complain of a presence watching them. Many have suffered nervous fits. Some were evacuated. In cheerier news, I've made some new friends. I met them while exploring the deeper caves. They're hard to describe, but imagine avant-garde sculptures of humans. I call them the id. They aren't hostile. In fact, they're polite and quiet, which is more than I can say for my colleagues. Most id are shy, but a few were quite curious. While I sat taking notes, one came to look at my sketches. I offered him my pencil, but that spooked it. What are the id? Residents? Prisoners? They remind me of the golems from Kabbalistic texts, or a type of homunculi. I know I shouldn't, but I gave them names. There's Hercules, Adam, Lilith, Copernicus. Mabel is the bravest. They're a funny bunch.
So his discovery of the id that we heard for the first time earlier, they're like husks almost, right?
Entry day plus 51. Northmore has ordered an all-hands search for objects similar to the service weapon. He claims there are more in the house, though I don't see how he's so certain. He's been strange lately, talking about joining greater causes, and frequently mentioning a pyramid. After pressing him, he finally described this pyramid to me. Inverted, black, mathematically perfect. Oddly enough, Adam and the other id have shown me numerous inverted triangles painted on the cave walls. Surely there's a connection, but I don't see it yet. As far as occult symbols go, triangles are by no means rare. Flood, Levi, Kroll, they used that shape like it was going out of fashion. Standing on their base, triangles signify stability and strength. Inverted on their points, they represent conflict and stagnation. Of course, the orientation is just a matter of perspective. Looking at the pyramid from below gives you one, from above another. Northmore says he looks up at the inverted pyramid. I have to wonder, is anyone standing over it, looking down?
So yeah, if the board are the ones looking down, they're doing it from a place of security, whereas us looking up are doing from a place of chaos almost.
Entry day plus 86. There's been a change. Hercules and Mabel, id numbers 3 and 11, attacked my staff today. 2 fatalities. 3 if you count Mabel. She was always so kind. As a result, we are abandoning the Foundation. Northmore gave the order to transfer our resources to the upper floors, now that my control points allow us to safely come and go from the New York streets. Did I forget to include that fact in my previous logs? I've been so busy. Using the arrays I made. Control points have been established throughout the oldest house. Excuse me if I don't sound excited, it's just... A few months ago, I would have been overjoyed to leave the Foundation. But now I realize I've grown fond of it. There's something deep in the stone here, deeper than that watching presence. Something warm. I feel it needing me. I won't go. I'll refuse. Northmore won't be happy, but so be it. I'm starting to see him for what he is. An impotent storm. Father Shade in a cheap suit.
Changes.
Entry day plus 118. I have changed, though it's hard to know how or why. I no longer need tools to detect the house's veins, to hear it breathe. I can feel its blood churning beneath my bare feet. I have added my own illustrations to the walls, trying to solve some mystery that the oldest house whispers to me. I have to avoid the id as I do so. They hunt me. I don't blame them. They're just following the Pillar's orders. Even poor Adam doesn't seem to recognize me anymore. I've spent a long time contemplating the etchings of the tree and its roots. Did you know this city used to be a forest? I wonder if our oldest house wore a different face back then. Or if it was always here. A 21st century office building since time immemorial. Can a place know the future? Can it change its skin? Can it wander? I always thought the esoteric world was my father's, not mine. But here, in this sacred place, I finally understand his devotion and his awe.
So that makes it a bit confusing as to whether he did actually depart, or whether he stayed behind, or whether he just paid frequent visits back here.
Nobody else hears the house. Their ears are too full of lies. We were shown the way inside so we could help. But all we've done is fall victim to the same parasite. I should have seen the web earlier. The strands between Northmore, the pillar, the gun, the id. What hope did we have? Thrown into this conflict beyond our comprehension. I've decided to rejoin the Bureau in the upper levels, to end my long absence spent in the Foundation. Northmore will be angry at me for disobeying him. That's just his way. But I don't care. I need to remain in the oldest house to help however I can. I doubt I can steer the Bureau back on the right course, but I have to try. How did I go so long without a purpose? Without devotion? I can hardly remember how it felt. I realize how grateful I am to Father for setting me on this path. I wish I could tell him that.
I wonder if Ash is the one who pushed Northmore into that sarcophagus. Yeah, man, Ash's whole story, his whole arc, it was so fascinating. Really well acted. Like, you know, he felt really sort of introverted and kind of self-conscious, and was almost like he was saying, discovering his purpose and his devotion. Really excellent character. Just sort of testament to the standard of the writing and the lore in this game. All the stuff in the background just is always really satisfying to read and reflect on. Right, guys. I know that the quest log looks sort of crazily full. The anchor is glitched. These what a mess things. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end the playthrough here, guys, because it just feels like this was the last sort of significant piece of story stuff. I don't really know if completing the water mold stuff, doing more jukebox missions, finding the ID cards, whatever it is, will get us much more in terms of story stuff. A lot of it feels like, you know, what are the cleanup stuff for RT and the jukebox stuff feels very much so just like gameplay recycling. And I've got to be honest, like the combat is definitely worn a bit thin for me now. I just don't think it has enough depth. For as good as it looks and sounds, and like it should be good, I just think that there's not. It's a bit too. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit too one-dimensional. Like the enemies, it's just sort of like a barrage of attacks back and forth with not necessarily that much tactical stuff. I don't know. There's just a missing ingredient with the combat. Yeah. So I think I'm going to leave the game there. I've really enjoyed Control overall. Yeah, the lore, the story, the whole history of the place has been fantastically written. It's just got a great atmosphere in terms of its depth of material. The actual physical presence and atmosphere of the place is disturbing, haunting, awe-inspiring, mysterious. It's excellent. The combat has like all the right ingredients. I think that there's like a missing ingredient with it in terms of maybe in the environment. There needs to be more cover taking, or the enemies need to use more group tactics, or it's a difficult balance, but it's a little shallow. So yeah, but everything else has been amazing. Was kind of hoping, other than maybe Dylan kind of being used and discarded a little bit, it was a bit of a shame for him as a character. But yeah, I've had an excellent time with Control. I really look forward to seeing what Remedy do next with this whole universe. I understand that this will probably have a sequel, and Alan Wake has got a sequel coming up as well. So yeah, the Foundation was a really cool DLC. Really cool. I really enjoyed learning about the history. I really hope you've enjoyed this playthrough. I understand it's not exactly a completionist playthrough, but I think that some of those gameplay things, like the jukebox and Shum, the arcade game thing, are like, I think that they're limitless ones that you can just grind for ages for more rewards, and we're pretty much max upgraded now anyway. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I don't want to like play too far when I feel like I'm done. Right, so I really hope you've enjoyed this series, guys. Thanks for coming along on the journey with me. Leave a like if you did enjoy it, and just remember, everyone, never trust an on-crate. I'll see you next time.